Inhale, and on your exhale, come down. We'll start off with some bridges just because that's a really nice one to warm up that low back, your hamstrings, and the glutes. We're taking 10 of these bridges. Feel like your hips are even. Wake up that spine. Exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. And we'll take a couple more. See how your low back is feeling. And then stay up. Now at the top, you're going to do a little 2-inch pulse. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then lower your spine down. This time walk your feet out wider than your hips. We're going to do a wide bridge. Curl up and down. We're going to hit all the different fibers and the glutes and the hamstrings. So this is wide bridge for 10 repetitions. Feel like you're even in your glutes, even in your hips. On that 10th one, stay up and add 2-inch pulses at the top range of motion. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now lower your spine and then put your feet close together so the inside of the feet are touching. This is narrow bridge, and your thighs are probably touching, your knees may be touching. Curl up 10 repetitions, narrow bridge. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now at the top, 10 2-inch pulses. So 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then lower down. Let's take a stretch. So reach your hands between your thighs and hold on to your feet. So you're going to be feeling a little inner thigh stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Now, while we're here, we'll take the left foot down and we'll point the right toes up. So this will be 10 of the single bridges. One leg is working, and the hips should stay stable. The glute medius is responsible for keeping the hips level here. 8, 9, and then like before, a 2-inch, 10 pulses at the 2 inches at the top range of motion. That was a mouthful. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then lower yourself down. Now the right foot's down, the left leg's up. You can gently point the toes. 10 full ranges of motion. Really make sure your hips go all the way down so you're not missing the floor on these. This is the fuller range. 6, 10 of these. 7, 8, press through the entire right foot. 9. Now go up high and do the 2-inch pulses with the one leg. 6, 7, 8. Good. 9. And then that foot comes down. Lower your spine, and now we'll take a happy baby. So we've hit the hamstrings in the bent knee position. Stretch them out for a moment. I like to add a rock here. 5, 4, 3. Working the legs. 2. And we're going to do one more for the legs, but a further away. So notice how the knee angle is a little bit more obtuse. I'm more digging the heels and then the whole foot. Go up and down, up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then stay up and do a little pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then a full body stretch. We'll reach through the toes, reach through the fingers. Breathe in. And then turn the belly over, turn the body over. Now the belly's going to be down, and we're going to do a different block now. This is some extensions. Forearms down to start. Just check in. How is everything feeling? Sphinx. Add on the hands, pushing you higher. Swan if you care to, if your body's feeling good. Hold. Now the breath. Notice you can lengthen the inhale. Good. All right, now we'll do that multiple times. So get ready. At the bottom, inhale, lift up without using your hands. Go as high as you can, and then let the hands assist you higher. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up without using your hands, back extensors, and then let your triceps assist you higher. Lower yourself down. Release the hands as soon as you do not need them. Let your back do the work. We want strong backs. Come on up, inhale. Exhale. This helps prevent rounded upper back. This helps prevent rounded shoulders. This also helps with energy. When your posture's upright, you can take fuller breath. Breath is energy. Good. 2 more. Here we go. Breathe in. Press up. This is at your own pace. We're going to do 1 more of these, and then we'll do another hold. Inhale, lift. Let your hands assist you. Feel how the shoulder blades are down the back. Feel how the elbows are wrapped towards the floor. The neck is long like a swan. That's why this exercise is called swan. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Now we're going to take a child's pose after that. There was a lot of extension. If you want to add your toes under, go for it. 5, 4, and come on back down to the belly down. We'll do a few more in this block called extensions. Your hands can be beside your hips and lift up your back. Now, with this extension, I'm going to have us add on the toes lift. If you can. If you need to leave them down, don't. You can put them down. We're going to add on some extensors with the arms. So get ready to lift the arms 10 times higher than the back, although the back is maintaining its own extension. This really helps those shoulder muscles prevent rounded shoulders. Now we're going to go wide like a T. This is the letter T. Good. Long arms, long lever. Now we're going to work in the letter Y. Good. Stay there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's push back, child pose or down dog, you choose. 5, calves. 4, 3, 2, breathe in. And then exhale. Go back down to the belly. We'll do a little bit more in this thoracic extension block. Now the hands are going to be beside the temples. Their arms are like little triangles. Lift up the torso and rotate to the left while your opposite leg comes up. Lift up the torso, rotate right while your left leg comes up. Inhale. This is extension with rotation. This is working the posterior oblique chain. Inhale. Good. So it's opposite shoulder and leg. So shoulder and opposite leg. Good. Inhale. Thoracic extension with rotation. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Child pose or down dog. Whatever relieves your spine. And then speaking of spine, we're going to go to hands and knees, or if you want to use your arc and be on your forearms, you can, or if you want to tuck your knuckles under a pair of weights, you can if you're needing to be sensitive with the wrist. But regardless, our theme is spinal flexion, spinal extension, all under the spinal articulation theme. Inhale. You also want to feel how your scapula glide. You want to feel healthy scapula, healthy shoulders glide. So feel the scapula glide up, feel them glide down. Now, if you want to make this a little harder, you can convert it into a down dog, up dog, or on the forearms as well. But your goal is you're doing spinal flexion and extension in the manner you need to. Good. That looks really good. Inhale. And 2 more. and then recover however you need to. I'm gonna add a little tricep stretch with this one. So bend the elbows on the flexion. Inhale. Good. And then come on up and grab a sip. Good job. So we break things up into blocks or units, themes of exercise. We're going to go into a plank here on the next unit, forearm planks. You're welcome to do these on the hands as well. So on this one, hold a minute and we'll check in with some standards. So we'll get used to these challenges where the body's at a functional fitness and beyond optimal fitness. Scapula are broad, head's pulling back. You're making sure not to let the low back droop. All right, we're already halfway there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, try 10 more. Inhale. And then exhale, relax. Take a breather. Now, the next one is one that I heard on a podcast yesterday with Andrew Huberman and Peter Attia that we're going to do, that they use in their Vitality Lab. And it's a 2-minute wall squat or sit. If you don't have a clean wall to put your back against it, and that's an issue, just do a normal squat like we do. So I'll show you both ways. So the exercise, if you have, Betty, do you have something that you won't feel like you're going to, okay, that'll work, because I see you, Michelle, or Cole, you could even just do a squat. So, and in yoga, this is called, they do it for 5 minutes. So, hey, all right, oops, I got a shadow. Okay, here we go. 2 minutes of a 90-degree-ish, but you know, you take care of you. So about 90-degree. Now, we haven't done this together as a group. So I'm gonna give us these little timed intervals. That's already 15. Mm-hmm. And I want you to keep breathing, because even though you're, quote, isometrically contracting, I want the body's physiology to keep going. I don't want it to feel stressed out with a breath hold. That's already 30. If any of you guys like learning about biology and wellness, I really enjoy the Andrew Huberman podcast, and then the Peter Attia. I'd read his book, Longevity. It was on there, and that was a great episode. So these were some functional tests. I thought that's pretty cool, because we've already been doing functional tests, and they had some more. Now we've got 1 minute left if you can. If you need to take a break, do. Main thing is keep breathing. I think I mentioned I'd be sprinkling in things like this. Betty, I'm sure you're doing great over there in the corner. All right, so you're already at 3/4 of the way through. Yep. Keep breathing. All right, so we're on the final stretch, guys. All right, hang in there, 20 seconds. Hang in there. Now it's mental. 10, 9, and good thing we're strong. 8, we're strong mentally. 7, 6, yep, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then come back up. Take a breather. Woo! So we're going to shake it out a little bit, and we're going to do a standing quad stretch. You can do this. How'd it go over there? That was a test, wasn't it? So the test is a 2-minute wall squat. with your back up against the wall, 90-degree knees. If you don't have that, let's say your room isn't ready for it, and we can make it ready in the future, you just hold a regular squat. So this is this is a balance drill, which we also know is good for you could pull your knee more underneath you, I think, Betty. You usually can, unless it's just tight from that exercise. Yeah, and that's it. So I see it responded. So you can tell I'm holding this a little longer. I want you to feel like you get that out. When you're ready, switch legs. Yeah. And then be tall and feel that quad. So we do know quad strength is related to longevity and health span, how active and well you're not just living long, but living strong. Grip strength was another, VO2 max, and cardio fitness was another, and overall body strength was another. Those were major predictors. And their review of literature was the best one variable you can do to prevent neural disease, exercise. Just, that was it, exercise. So good job, guys. Here's one I think is functional, and that's just a squat, or it wasn't in his test, but it's in mine for mobility. And if you don't have the ability to do this, you can always do Happy Baby or take yoga block or arc, something that lets you be functional. Good. This is really good, guys. Inhale. And then coming out of that with no hands, of course, is one thing I consider. Good. And then we'll do a couple other functionals. So 1 foot back. You can wrap now if you need to grab a yoga block, please do, and then switch it up. And then 1 foot back. Switch it up. Inhale, and then exhale. And then crisscross applesauce. So it's like you have an X at your ankles. You'll sit down, you'll come back up. Crisscross applesauce, sit down, come up, and then shins close together, and I'm making sure I don't just pound on my knees, right? They're softly landing. Push, and then up. Nice job. Really good. That works, Michelle. And then another one I like is a 30-second side plank. Again, if you have something going on with your shoulder and you need to do the normal plank, do that. We already did the minute, which is one that I had in my test, but we're going to go up. Here we go, a 30-second. Ten, 15, 20, 25, and then 30. Really good. Kind of went fast compared to that 2-minute wall sit, right? Okay, so this is a 30-second. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. Hold there. You're already at 10. You're already at 15. 20. You guys are doing so good. 25. And then 30, and then lower. I'm going to have us come back up. You're doing great. So it just occurred to me, I'm going to go to his website and see if I can download what test he uses so we can sprinkle more in. I was just listening to the podcast, but isn't that a cool idea? We'll do ours and his. Another one he mentioned is the vertical jump. We don't have a way to measure it, but what you would do is take a piece of chalk and, put it on like your garage door, but we're going to still just keep it in our repertoire. I was thrilled to hear that vertical jump was one of his tests. So we're going to do 6 vertical jumps. Oh, before we do it, let's warm up our calves. So all you're doing is warming up your calves. Don't jump yet. All right, so you're lifting up, and then you can do a little, what I call pogo, and that's a springy. So you should feel like you're warming up. Remember, you can always do the prior modification if you don't want the next moves I'm calling. Now that looks good. And then the next one is you're going to jump. So you can get low to start. We're going to do 6 big jumps. Inhale and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then walk it out. You're doing great. Now I'm going to tell you, I think I've only done this once with our group, and we're going to start kind of slow. You might remember in school you did a broad jump. So we're going to do the broad jump, but we're going to do it more modified and build our strength up. But check your length. Make sure there's nothing slick. But basically, we're going to do a broad jump forward. You can go kind of 80% because we haven't done it, but we're going to go forward. And we'll do that 5 times. If you just need to make it a 2-inch jump, do it. But if you can remember, you try to go forward. That's also one of his. It was in my plyometric course I just took as well. 3. And then I guess I can just turn around. 4. Good. All this helps with bone density. 5. One more. 6. Nice. And then go down to the floor. Grab a sip. Woo! Nice. One thing they mentioned that I did not know is that if you were on corticosteroids as a kid with an asthma inhaler, your bone density could be compromised from that. I didn't know that. I've been meaning to send you this. I know. I didn't know that was a side effect. I didn't know. I wasn't on one, but anyway. And the other is if you were on birth control, which they give a lot of girls, that decreases bone density. I didn't know that. I almost feel like, wow, so if you haven't gotten your bone density checked and you were in any of those categories, you might want to just pay attention to your bone density, that's all. I just did not know that. And so what it would mean to me is that if you were in any of those categories, you really just work hard to get your bone density up and be aware of it. All right, so this is just a hip opener to kind of take that and then take the hip opener on the other side. So just to take some of that. So I'm really proud. We did the vertical jumps. We did the broad jumps, squatting. We did the planks, forward, side, side. We did one-legged balance. We did sitting up to standing without using our hands. Those are all functional. While you're here, I'm going to take us into a knee, like it's on a table position, tabletop. Now, I'm going to offer you the leg position without the spinal flexion. So if you have osteoporosis, you have a backup plan. If you would like to add on, you can take your rotations, and we're going to take 40 of these. Mm-hmm. 20 more. I don't know if you remember at school, but the presidential fitness test was also crunches. Do you remember you would do them for a minute? All right, 5, 4. So we're kind of just doing a little one of those in a way. And then relax. Take your legs into your belly. Now on this, you can lift up your legs and your hands can be beside you. The backup plan would be to do a bridging pose, or you could lift up your hips here. So if this just doesn't work for you, then do the bridging pose. If this works for you and you want to add on, hands behind your head, double crunch. Take 12 repetitions, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. And then hug your legs in and take a little rock as well. Really nice. And we're going to roll on the belly, and it's one that I think is a functional fitness one. And it's the extensions, but with long levers. So I'll show you what I mean. So if you cannot do the long levers, just put your hands low. But if you can, it's going to be like a Y with your arms and the legs are long. Everything's going to come up with an inhale and then an exhale. Now, if that's too hard, hands low. But otherwise, I want to do 10 of these big extensions, big 3 long lever extensions. 4, 5, feel your ribs come off the floor. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now another one I like for just making sure we're mobile is bend the knee, reach your feet, bow pose. The front body has to open and the back body has to be strong. That's why it's such a nice one. Lift up for 10. Good, and then add the breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. 6. It's okay to do one at a time. We're going to do it twice. 7, 8, 9. Relax for a moment. We are going to do that again. Here we go. Inhale and come up. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then take a child pose. Let your body go into flexion. And then come up. Grab a sip. So I want to get into, we do strength training with our body in Pilates and yoga, and I want to get into some more intentional weight training as well, because we know how important that is. Whole body strength is directly related to health span and longevity. So the very first one is going to be calisthenics. 15 push-ups any way that you would like. So on the wall, on the floor, knees or toes. So take 15, that's going to be your body weight with resistance training. So that helps the brain. So however you're doing it, even if you have to change it up during 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, take a moment. I'm going to have us do a stretch. So the fingers pull under. Good job. By the way, the push-ups also, you can feel your abs integrated. You have to pay attention to how your whole body is. Those were the type of resistance training exercises that help with neural decline as well. All right, shake it out. The next one is triceps, so your hands are going to be behind you in a table, but you could also do it sitting in a chair. You can do it with your hands behind you on the floor. So I'm going to do table, 15. Now I'm going to do 5 like this. 5. And then you could have a leg out 5. And then a leg out 5. That's an option. These are just sort of body weight resistance exercises. And I want to take a nice stretch after that. So fingers low, pull under. Fingers low, pull under. I'm going to do a couple here. Palms low, so I don't know if you can see, palms low. There you go. Shoulders drop, palm low. Good. I want to do one shoulder stretch here for that, and then we're going to pick up some bands. So open up like you're trying to pull your hands away from your hips, but you keep your ear in line with the shoulder. And then we'll do knocking on the door of life. Grab your dynaband or dynaband tubing, like a heavier one. Since we're on the floor, we'll get our back here. So take your heavy Heavy, heavy. All right. Wrap that and also walk your fingers more forward and pull. So it's an exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, good. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Let go of that. You're doing great. Now, if you have one dynaband, that's fine. But if you do have one that's slightly less weight, grab it around your feet. Heel arch. Now, lift up through your torso. This is a letter T, so your arms go wide. Your back shoulder, your rear deltoids are working. 5, 6, middle trapezius. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Awesome job. Before we do another one, let's take a rotation for the upper back muscles, and it's also a way to relieve tension and give a little ATP-PC back in the muscle. Breathe in. Open up your arms and rotate the other way. And then bring it back. This one is very therapeutic. Your legs are long. You could have a medium or a slightly light medium. Cross the rope, elbows by your side. Open up your forearms, external rotation. Shoulders are also down the back. Forearms are strong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also like this one if you can spread out your toes and add that cue without losing your arm cue. We need those feet flexible. 4 for balance. 3, 2, and then 1. Awesome job. Now I'm going to take this to the side. Stand up with no hands helping you if you can. Come on up. Good. And if you need a step, grab it. We're going to do some standing up exercises. Take a pec exercise, so you could put your hands behind, or your band behind you, and wrap the band here. We're going to push out as you exhale. You can also lift up your heels. Good. And then up. Now, for our brain, we'll add a small pattern. You can go forward and out. And you can go forward and out. And inhale. And what I see is your shoulders are down the back. That's really nice. You're not getting in your trapezius here. Yeah. On this exercise. Out. Out. Good. And out. And exhale, and exhale. Good. You want to think all of your toe heads have equal weight. When you lift up, your pinky toe doesn't just take over, but all of your toe heads get equal weight. All right, we're going to do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. You got it. Now stand on the band. We're going to take a bicep curl. This is a single joint movement. I like to think of this as if you're going to a garden or a farmer's market. You can pick up that bushel of beans or whatever, the cantaloupe, but it is a carrying muscle. It's a lifting muscle. Good. It could be that you have 2 feet on your band. I have a heavier band, medium heavy, so I'm going to just stick with 1. But if you're either you're shorter, the the band isn't tight enough, just put 2 feet under it. So picking up the vegetables, exhale. And then you can do this neck check every now and then if you'd like to make sure there's no tension up there that doesn't need to be there. You're tall. All right, let's take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Exhale. All right, you got it. Now I want to change, for some of us, it'll be a slightly lighter weight. So we're going to go out to the side with a bicep. So you can stand on your band, one heel, one foot. Okay, now like a letter T, go out. One thing I like about these unilateral moves is it makes sure that your body doesn't have some compensatory motion. You got to keep it integrated. It's part of the exercise. Good. And it's called anti-rotational. When you keep your torso stable, even though one arm or one leg is doing this work, and you've got to keep that core, you learn how to keep the core stable and not lean. 15 and 16, 17, 18, 19. Now we're going to hit the other side. So take 20, heel on, go out. 1, all right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, good. 14, also I like the wrist being neutral, that looks good. 16, 17, I like the control on the way down. 18, 19, 20. Awesome job. Now to the front, we're going to take 15 of these. So you want to try to feel like it's tiring. By the end, you're ready to be done, right? And I like how you're not rotating your body. This is anti-rotational. Yep. In other words, you have to keep your core muscles on to stay stable. 7, neck soft. 8, 9, 10. A little bit of knee softness if you tend towards hyperextension like I was just thinking about doing. Let's take 15 on the other side. Take your other heel, stand on it. Now, you may have to adjust after 1 or 2 to figure out where you need to be. Long wrist. Breathe in the nose, breathe out the nose. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, a little bit of ab tone, 14. Good job. Let's take triceps next. One hand at your skull, one hand at your lumbar, and you're going to use that bottom hand as an anchor. All right, so we may have to figure out where we need to be. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I want to do 10 more here, so we're doing 20 if you can. 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Could you feel that? That's a harder muscle, usually a weaker muscle. So I want us to feel those fatiguing. And it's really important for getting out of chairs, falling. It's what catches us so we don't break a wrist or a hip. And up 4, good. 5, try to straighten it, whichever one is. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now it's starting to get harder. 13, 14, 15, 16, good. It should feel harder, but 17, but we can do it. 18, 19, whoo, and then 20. Really good job. Let that go. I want to give us one of our, this is one of my favorite stretches. It's a band in circles, go up and around. Ooh, you got it. 3, 4. Now, 5 good ones, which you guys all look great. We're going to do a hold. Here's like about a letter Y, somewhere in there. 5. Whoo. And then 4. Looks like your shoulders are doing great. 3. And then another one. Oh gosh, those all feel great, don't they? Let that go. Let's grab a sip and then grab some hand weights that let us do an overhead press. So overhead press could be anywhere from 3 to 8 pounds. And I want you to feel like your backup plan would be, you can always change the weights that you have, but your feet are underneath you, your hands are here. Here we go, up. We are going to shoot for 20. 2. Lifting the arms overhead is a really functional task. We want to be able to reach overhead. If you don't use that task, you can lose it. And we don't want to lose that ability. Good. 8. So even if you couldn't do it with weights, you would want to try to do it without weights in your hands. Assisted if you have to. Good. But you want to be able to do that. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. I hope you felt fatigue, but doable at the very end. Let that go. For a stretch, plus a balance pose, you know how we like to make sure we're able to do that. Interlace your fingers at the low back and hold. 5. So you have 2 things going on. 4, 3, 2. Lower that down. We're going to take the other foot up, inner thigh or calf, and then feel the shoulders stretch when you interlace your fingers and lift up the arms. 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale. And then exhale to let that go. We'll do a knocking on the door of life. Nice job. And then we're going to go out to the side like a letter T. So I'm going to guess anywhere from 3 to 8 again, I'd say. Go out like a letter T. So open, and then you want to be the one that's lowering the weight. In other words, don't let gravity flop your arms down. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, you're controlling it. 7, 8. Looks even to me. If you feel anything different in your body, you know, you can adjust that, but you want to feel like your arms are lifting evenly. Sometimes that non-dominant arm tries to, it accidentally is a little lower. Fight gravity, neck is soft. And 18, 19, 20. 3 more. 18, 19, and then 20. Nice job. Lower those weights down for a moment. And this is a cow face pose, but if this is too hard for you, just do that interlaced one. This is going to be a dynamic balance. Take 3 circles. Yeah, or use a band. Good. 3 circles without touching the ground. Now 3 the other way. Try not to touch the ground. Excellent. Now the other side, you can use a band if you cannot touch. Here we go. Once you have your arms, the other leg, the left leg's going to do 3 circles without touching. Dynamic balance. And 3. Inhale, and then let go. Nice job. I want to do a tricep press, and it's going to look like this. You could do 2 smaller weights, like 2 5s or 2 4s, or you could do a 12 or a 10, something like that. And again, you may end up just changing it halfway. Touch the weights, bend the elbows, press up. Good. 2, bye, have a good day. Oh, always good to see you. 4, good. 5, shoulders looking better. 6, 7, good. 8, 9, 10, 11, good, you're tall. 12, 13, 14. So you have some body tone, ab tone. All right, try 3 more. 3. Woo! And then bring that down. Nice. Let's let that go for just a moment. And if you can, do a reverse prayer, which would be the palms together behind you and then open the shoulders. If you cannot do this, interlace your fingers and then just do a shoulder stretch that way. Otherwise, try to press the whole palm together. Can you touch the base of all the knuckles together and the thumb? Breathe in and then let that go. Shake it out. Now, I want to do front raises, so it's a little bit harder than the lateral. So you may have the same weight and then change it, or you might just do a slightly lighter weight, okay? So probably 3 to 7 pounds. Now I'm going to mix it up. So both arms go forward at first. If this is too hard to have both arms go forward, you could do a trick where you do right, left, right, left. But just for your knowledge, I'm going to be mixing it up so that we have both in our repertoire. Good. So you feel like you have ab tone because you don't want to be leaning back. You feel how you have that ab tone? Yeah. And about shoulder height. Now I'm going to have us do a single, like you're walking with your arms. What I like about this is it lets you keep going if it was getting too hard to do both. But what I also like about it is it forces you to have some ab tone to stabilize. If you weren't paying attention, your body would do something like this. So you want that ab tone that keeps you stable even when you're doing a weighted one limb movement like we are. Again, that's called anti-rotational. And it makes your body figure out how to be neutral. So if you were carrying one heavy suitcase or one big grocery bag full of sweet potatoes, you could figure out how to keep your core aligned and not be sinking on one side. Like most people end up laterally flexing on one side and then they get a little scoliosis functionally. So we're going to do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. You got it. Now you can let that go for a minute. We are going to be getting a sip. So let's get a sip and I'll tell you what's happening next. I want us to go down and do some chest presses, so it's going to be a heavier weight. So one goal is to go down without using your hands. Now chest press, we're going to do a couple things here for our chest, but it's probably going to be a heavier weight. Around 10 in each hand possibly, depending on what you have, or 8. You're going to put your feet flat on the floor, and it's almost like those push-ups we did earlier. You're going to push up and bend, and in fact push-ups on the wall could be a modification. And up and inhale and exhale as you push up. That often helps with the hard part. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yep, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're doing 5 more. If you feel like that's too much, grab a lighter weight and finish out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to take a full body stretch, legs long, arms long, and stretch through your spine. So you can shift, breathe, good. And then we're going to take a fly. So this is going to be opening the arms and closing them. You might need a slightly lighter weight, or you might try this weight first and then change it. So the weights touch at the top, and then you open up as if you're hugging a tree. Do small at first, check your shoulders, check the weights, okay. The feet on the floor will help you keep your ribs on the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Can you feel the pecs? There's a little elbow softness here. You're not long in the elbow. You do have a softness, sort of like you're making a circle with your arms. If your neck doesn't feel comfortable, you may enjoy putting a small pillow under your head to gently let the neck be in line, head be in line with the spine. So if you have forward head syndrome in particular, or really rounded back, upper back, that slight pillow or folded up mat will help you feel like you're more in alignment. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now put the weights beside you. Take a full body stretch, and even the fingers, like your hands have been gripping, which is good. You want to just stretch it out the opposite way. Take an inhale, and then exhale to come up. Now, if you can, come up without using your hands, and I know you can, so I'm going to show you. Oh, do we have time? Yes, we do. So, that a girl? Look how much better that's gotten. All right, so I'm going to do a normal bicep curl. You can choose biceps hammer or biceps palms up. Now, you may end up changing the weight. In other words, or changing the way. So I do like to mix it up. So this is a hammer curl and lower, and it's a single joint movement. One thing you're making sure is that your body's not doing the fold, right? It's your elbow. 5, good. 6, so I'm going to start with a heavier weight and change it so you see what I mean. 7, what I also like is your shoulders are down the back. 8, your knees are long but soft. 9, and then one more for 10. So especially if you feel like, hey, I'm getting stronger, I need to challenge myself, but I can't quite do the whole set, then you can just change it up, right? Oh, sorry, so we're doing 10 more, but I was gonna just show you how you could change the weight, especially if you feel like, hey, I've been doing this weight for a while, I wanna increase it to build bone and bone and muscle, but I'm not ready to do the whole set of 20 with that higher weight. That's how you can do it. You just start off with a heavier weight after you've warmed up, and then you go back. So these are just little tricks. You'd like to feel like you're creating a stress. I know that has a bad connotation, but you want the muscle to get more than it's used to and the bone. It's called Wolff's Law. It stimulates more bone growth. All right, 2 more. All right, let those down for just a moment. I want to give us take a sip, and then we'll do half moon stretch. One foot over for the extra stretch, which you're used to, and then one hand down. Oh, 5. Great job. 4. Even stretching through my fingers too. Now, other side up, your ankle could cross. You act like you want to go up first and then over. And as if your fingers have intention. It's not just hanging out. You're reaching like you're going for something across the room. 5. I'm going to sneak in one more stretch here, or one more exercise here. I'm going to show you what it is before I grab the weight. So you're in a supported, look how my back is not round, it's long. It's going to be like you're starting a lawnmower. So it probably will be a heavier weight. But I want you to feel like you're hinged, your heels are heavy, and then row. So even though at first I'm looking at you, really you can tell it's probably going to be nicer to slightly tuck the chin once you have that. Good, that looks better. And exhale, good. And neck is soft. And exhale. Good, strong back, but you feel how your legs are helping you. You're just supported in your legs. You're not rounding at the spine, hanging out droopy. You've got tone. Last 5, last 4, last 3, back strong, 2, and 1. Now carefully lower your weights down. My mic fell out, so I have to let that go. All right, so I want us to take the feet apart, hands on the thighs. Now, it's like cat-cow in kneeling. Just do a flexion, extension, one more. And then drop your right shoulder, look over your left. Drop your left shoulder, look over your right. Roll your spine all the way up and take an inhale up and even stretch back. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, walk your feet in together and just stand. Now, how do your muscles feel? How's your posture feel? How's your mind feel? And how does your breathing feel? And notice this feeling of stability, clarity, strength, how your muscles feel pumped.